Life is sweet at Happy Trails. Life is sweet at Happy Trails. The morning sun, a painter with golden hues, kissed the dew-covered fields as Lily rode Patches, her trusty Appaloosa, along the well-worn paths. The air, crisp and clean, carried the scent of wildflowers and damp earth. Patches, sensing her light touch, responded with a gentle canter, his hooves a rhythmic drumbeat against the soft ground. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, letting the peace of the ranch wash over her, a stark contrast to the anxieties that sometimes gnawed at her insides. Back at the barn, Star, a sleek, black Morgan mare, waited patiently. Lily ran a brush through her glossy coat, the rhythmic strokes a comforting ritual. "You're looking beautiful today, girl," she murmured, nuzzling Star's soft nose. The mare responded with a gentle snort, her warm breath tickling Lily's cheek. The barn smelled of hay, leather, and the earthy scent of horses, a perfume Lily adored. She carefully checked Star's hooves, picking out any small stones or debris. It was a task she never rushed, finding a quiet satisfaction in caring for these magnificent creatures. Later, leaning against the wooden fence, Lily held out 2 bright red apples. Patches and Star ambled over, their soft muzzles nudging her hands. "Easy, girls, there's plenty to share," she chuckled, feeding them each a juicy slice. Watching them munch contentedly, Lily felt a surge of protectiveness. This ranch, these horses, this life, it was all she had ever truly wanted. A dark cloud momentarily crossed her mind as she remembered the letter from the HOA, the threat to her peaceful existence. She pushed the thought away, focusing on the present moment, the warmth of the sun on her face, the trusting gaze of her horses. For now, at least, life at Happy Trails was perfect. A new neighbor and a nuisance. A U-Haul, overflowing with floral-printed furniture and porcelain dolls, wheezed to a stop in front of the tiny house. Mrs. Crabtree emerged, a small woman with a face like a pinched lemon and a towering gray beehive that looked suspiciously like it housed a colony of angry wasps. Lily watched from the barn window as her mom, Elena, walked over to greet the new arrival. Elena, ever the diplomat, offered a warm smile and a hand. Mrs. Crabtree accepted neither. "Agatha Crabtree," she announced, her voice a high-pitched whine that carried easily on the afternoon breeze. "And I trust you're responsible for this." She gestured vaguely at the sprawling ranch, taking in the horses grazing in the pasture. Lily's gut clenched. She had a bad feeling about this. Elena, unfazed, introduced herself. "Welcome to Happy Trails, Mrs. Crabtree. We're happy to have you." "Happy?" Mrs. Crabtree scoffed. "I doubt that will last. I expect you'll be doing something about the infernal racket those beasts are making. I came here for peace and quiet, not a symphony of snorting and whinnying." Lily, pretending to sweep the aisle, strained to hear. Her mother's voice, though calm, had a definite edge. "The horses were here long before you, Mrs. Crabtree. This is a working ranch." "Working?" Mrs. Crabtree sniffed. "It sounds more like a circus." She pulled a clipboard from her voluminous handbag and began scribbling furiously, the pen scratching against the paper like nails on a chalkboard. "I'll be looking into the HOA regulations. I'm certain there are noise ordinances." Lily's broom stilled. This wasn't just a new neighbor, this was a declaration of war. The HOA threat. The cream-colored envelope sat on the kitchen counter, innocuous, almost polite. Addressed to the Rodriguez family, it lacked the warmth of a handwritten note, replaced by the cold, official font of a printed label. Lily's mother picked it up, her brow furrowing slightly. "Another one of Agatha Crabtree's missives, I presume," she sighed, handing it to Lily's father. He tore it open, his expression hardening with each line he read. He passed the letter to Lily, his silence more unsettling than any shouting. The crisp paper felt accusing in Lily's trembling hands. The words swam before her eyes. Notice of violation, breach of covenant, prohibition of livestock. It was a formal complaint, dripping with legal jargon, threatening fines, and, ultimately, the forced removal of the horses. Mrs. Crabtree, in her official capacity as HOA president, cited noise complaints, property devaluation, and a supposed violation of the community's aesthetic standards. A knot tightened in Lily's stomach. "They can't do that, can they?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. Her father placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll fight it, Mija. Your grandfather built this ranch. We have rights." But Lily saw the worry etched on his face, the way his eyes darted around the familiar kitchen, suddenly feeling smaller, more vulnerable. Her mother, ever practical, chimed in, "We'll talk to Mr. Henderson, the lawyer. He helped us with the property lines." But even her calm tone couldn't completely soothe Lily's rising panic. This wasn't just about rules and regulations. It was about family, heritage, and the horses she loved. It was about belonging. And Mrs. Crabtree, with her cold, formal letter, was threatening to take it all away. She just won't listen. The desert sun beat down on Mrs. Crabtree's meticulously manicured lawn, the artificial green a stark contrast to the natural browns and yellows of the surrounding landscape. Lily watched from behind the dusty window of the old pickup truck, the heat radiating through the glass. Her parents stood on Mrs. Crabtree's porch, their voices muffled by the distance. "Mrs. Crabtree, we understand there's been some confusion." Her father's voice, though still calm, carried a new weight. "But the deed is clear. This ranch has been in my family for generations." Mrs. Crabtree's response was a sharp, high-pitched whine that even Lily could hear. She punctuated each word with a stab of her finger toward the Rodriguez family. "The HOA has rules, regulations. You can't just ignore them." Lily's mother stepped forward, her hand outstretched in a gesture of peace. "We're not ignoring the rules, Mrs. Crabtree. We simply believe they don't apply in this situation. We own the land." Mrs. Crabtree folded her arms, a triumphant sneer twisting her lips. "Ownership doesn't exempt you. Those horses are a nuisance, an eyesore, and quite frankly, a violation of Covenant 3.2, subsection B, paragraph 7. Lily saw her father's shoulders slump. He tried one last time, pulling out a rolled-up document. The deed, Lily assumed. Mrs. Crabtree didn't even glance at it. "I don't have time for this nonsense. Good day." She turned and slammed the door, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the otherwise still afternoon. Online trouble. The click of Mrs. Crabtree's camera was a tiny, persistent insect buzzing around Lily's head. Each snap felt like another nail hammered into the coffin of her peace. She watched from the kitchen window, a knot tightening in her stomach as Mrs. Crabtree circled Penny and Gus, phone held high, a triumphant glint in her eye. Later that evening, Lily scrolled through the HOA's online forum, ostensibly to check for meeting updates. Then she saw them. 3 photos, crisp and accusatory, of Penny and Gus grazing in the pasture. The caption, dripping with thinly veiled disdain, read, "Flagrant violation of community bylaws. Equestrian animals illegally occupying residential property. Is this the standard we want for our neighborhood?" Comments exploded beneath the photos like angry wasps. Some were supportive of Mrs. Crabtree, demanding immediate action. Others, surprisingly, defended Lily, praising the beauty of the horses and reminiscing about the ranch's history. But the negative comments stung the most. "Health hazard," one shrieked. "Unsightly and attracts flies," another declared. Lily closed her laptop, the screen's glow reflecting in her wide, worried eyes. The sanctuary she had found in the ranch, the joy of reconnecting with her heritage, felt suddenly fragile, threatened. She retreated to her room, the familiar creak of the floorboards a mournful soundtrack to her rising anxiety. The online world, once a source of connection, had become a battleground, and she, along with Penny and Gus, were squarely in the crosshairs. Grandpa's wisdom. The scent of wood shavings and leather hit Lily as she stepped into Grandpa Raphael's workshop, a comforting balm to her frayed nerves. Sunlight streamed through the dusty windows, illuminating rows of hand tools hanging neatly on the wall. Grandpa Raphael, his hands gnarled with age and experience, was hunched over a workbench, meticulously carving a small wooden horse. "Abuelo?" Lily said softly. He looked up, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Lilybug. Come sit." He gestured to a stool beside him. "What troubles you, mi querida?" She recounted her encounter with Mrs. Davison and the HOA's ridiculous demands. Grandpa Raphael listened patiently, his expression unreadable. When she finished, he sighed, a sound like wind rustling through dry leaves. "This land," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "it's more than just dirt and grass. It's our history, our blood." He opened a worn wooden box and pulled out a stack of faded photographs. "Your great-great-grandfather, Esteban, he built this ranch with his own 2 hands. He faced droughts, bandits, even the railroad trying to steal his water rights. But he never gave up." He showed her a picture of a stern-faced man standing proudly beside a team of horses. He then produced a brittle document, its edges frayed. "The original land grant, signed by the governor himself. Happy Trails has been in our family for generations, Lily. We don't back down from bullies." He placed a hand over hers, his touch surprisingly strong. "Remember our stories, Lilybug." Let them guide you. The strength you need is already inside you. You just need to find it. Happy Trails Day. Lily chewed on the end of her pen, staring at the blank notebook page. Happy Trails Day, she muttered, the words sounding hollow even to her own ears. Grandpa Raphael's stories echoed in her mind, tales of resilience, community, and the land's enduring spirit. She needed to capture that, translate it into something tangible for the town. An idea sparked. Demonstrations. She could show people how to care for the horses, explain the importance of rotational grazing, even have a farrier come and talk about hoof care. A wave of nervous energy washed over her. This was bigger than just cleaning stalls. This was putting herself and the ranch on display. Hours blurred into a flurry of activity. Lily designed invitations adorned with a simple drawing of a horse grazing beneath a sprawling oak. She crafted posters using bold colors, each one highlighting a different aspect of ranch life. Meet the horses, learn about local wildlife, discover sustainable ranching. The scent of printer ink filled the air, mingling with the familiar aroma of hay and horses. The days leading up to Happy Trails Day were a whirlwind. Lily scrubbed fences, swept the barn floor until it gleamed, and trimmed the overgrown bushes lining the driveway. Every task was a prayer, a silent plea for everything to go smoothly. As the sun dipped below the horizon the night before, casting long shadows across the fields, Lily stood back and surveyed her handiwork. The ranch looked welcoming, but a knot of anxiety tightened in her stomach. Would anyone even come? The deed revealed. Happy Trails Day dawned bright, the air crisp with the scent of pine and wood smoke from the barbecue pit. Neighbors trickled in, their laughter echoing across the dusty yard. Lily perched nervously on a hay bale, fiddled with the microphone. Mrs. Crabtree stood stiffly near the refreshments table, her arms crossed, a silent sentinel of HOA regulations. Welcome, everyone, Lily began, her voice trembling slightly. She practiced Grandpa Raphael's stories 100 times, but facing a crowd was different. As she spoke of the ranch's origins, of her great-grandparents' dreams, her confidence grew. She described their struggles, their triumphs, their deep connection to the land. And so, Lily said, her voice now ringing clear, this ranch has always been, and will always be, a Rodriguez family legacy. She reached behind the hay bale and pulled out a weathered, leather-bound document. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Even Mrs. Crabtree seemed momentarily stunned. This, Lily announced, holding up the deed, is the original deed to Rancho Rodriguez. Signed, sealed, and recorded generations ago. She stepped down, extending the document towards Mrs. Crabtree. Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding? The paper crackled in the wind, the faded ink a testament to generations of ownership. The aroma of roasting meat hung heavy in the air, a counterpoint to the sudden tension. A change of heart. The knock was hesitant, almost apologetic. Lily peeked through the curtains. Mrs. Crabtree. Dread twisted in Lily's stomach. She opened the door a crack. Lily, dear, Mrs. Crabtree began, her voice surprisingly soft. I came to apologize. My behavior, it was unacceptable. The rules are important, yes, but kindness is more so. I haven't been very kind lately. Lily blinked, speechless. Mrs. Crabtree actually looked smaller. May I see Patches? She asked, her gaze shifting towards the corral. Lily, cautiously, opened the door wider. Of course. Out in the corral, Patches nudged Mrs. Crabtree's hand, his velvety nose tickling her palm. A small smile played on the woman's lips. He's magnificent, she murmured. Would he mind if I tried to ride him? Lily's eyes widened. He's very gentle, but, with Lily's hesitant help, Mrs. Crabtree awkwardly mounted Patches. He shifted beneath her, sensing her nervousness. Lily led Patches around the corral, star-trotting happily alongside. The setting sun painted the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow on Mrs. Crabtree's face. For the first time, Lily saw genuine joy there. This is Happy Trails, isn't it? Mrs. Crabtree said, her voice filled with awe. Lily smiled. Yes, it is.